What is up, everybody? This is Steve, Cover Guy 231 across the DFS industry, here to break down the final group stage slate that we have for Euro 2020. It is currently Tuesday, June 22nd. We're going to be breaking down Wednesday, June 23rd's four-game slate. Really like the four gamers. I think it does allow a lot of, there's not as much chalk, right? So you really don't see duplicated lineups. There's a lot of strategy with there being two games, in the first batch, or like the hour batch, whatever, and then two games in the second batch. Once again, I'm going to lean towards flexibility and the second batch because of Germany. But realistically, it's just going to come down to do you get Germany and Spain right in this slate, and then do you get like the fill-ins? Do you get the one-offs right? Do you get your goalie right? So much of that, and that's DFS soccer. That's why we love it. And the great part, I'm going to go over in a minute, but everybody's playing for something. You have a few teams that are through, but they're playing for first. So, there's no Netherlands, right? There's no team that's playing for absolutely nothing that still plays all their players, that still kicks butt and, makes me make a ton of pivots to get it right. So it'll be fun. All right, let's just a quick reminder. So one thing, I'm going to get you behind the curtain. So I saw these videos. I want to thank everybody are getting 500 to 700 views, which is awesome considering the prize pool. That's I don't know what you have 5,000 people that choose. So 10% of people playing are watching this. So that's pretty damn cool. So thank you for that. But what I will say is I noticed in our analytics, more than 70% of y'all are not subscribed to FSI. I would just please, if you don't mind, just drop the subscribe button. It really, really does help. Does not cost you anything. Whether you are ever going to subscribe to FSI premium content or not, just if nothing else, drop us that subscribe and a like. It is really, really appreciated. All right, let's get into the games. Let's start out with just the scenarios, okay? So we're Group E. So this is my phone. I'm just going to read it. Sweden are through to the last 16, so they're already advanced. But if Sweden lose and the other game is drawn, so a big freeze. So lose and the other game's a draw. Sweden, Slovakia, and Poland will split for first to third place results between the three teams. And if they lose, they finish third. So, okay, Sweden, just go take care of business, right? Slovakia, they need to win. Spain, need to win. Poland, they need to win. All right, cool. So there's Group E. Everybody's praying for something. Group F, France is through, but if they will finish first with a win, they certainly don't want to lose to Portugal either. That is not good for the confidence. And just France hasn't looked all that great in this group stage. Preliminary pre-tournament favorite. They want to look much better. If France lose and Hungary wins, second place will be decided by a goal difference. So it matters. So go France. Germany will go through if they win. Okay, cool. Win. Portugal will go through if they win. Cool. Win. Hungary will go through in second place if they win. Cool, Hungary. Go win. So guess what? 8 teams, 8 reasons to win. On to the lineups. Slovakia versus Spain. Spain is one of our overwhelming favorites. Minus 556. Excuse me. We have over finally has the money at minus 150. I feel like Spain's had that hit multiple times, right? The bookies just expect Spain. They're looking at their XG, forgetting that their striker is Alvaro Morata. Even though he scored last game, it's not looking good for Spain. It's been a drag. It's been really tough sledding. Sofa has a lot of lineup changes here. I don't see a lot of these happening. There's no way, in my opinion. Here's the guarantee to be wrong, but Jordi Alba will be playing left back unless there's an injury that I miss. I can't imagine him rotating Jordi Alba out. I'd love to see Adama Traore. I think that's a whole new dimension that Spain has not kind of used or unlocked. Danny Olmo is just your prototypical Spain player, right? Great dribbler, has some ideas, but nothing like Adama Traore. He's something Spain has not had in years. So I think that'd just make a ton of sense to try to get him in. I would love to see them put Moreno as the 9. I think that's where Moreno is much better. And then maybe on the right wing, I don't know if I want them to play. Oh, geez. Why am I blanking on his name? The right wing. I'm blanking on his name. It doesn't matter. Sarabia. There you go. Pablo Sarabia. Maybe they play something like that. Just somebody that's a little bit more cross-minded. That just shows you that I love crosses. But I don't know. We'll know Spain's lineup. The big thing is, I think Llorente's plays right back too. I think the back line has not been a problem. So I would be shocked if they make any changes there. Maybe if anything, Laporte just needs to get stronger. but there's no Lewandowski for Slovakia, so he should be okay. Sergio Busquets moving in would make some sense. On this lineup, if this were to happen, Thiago would have sets. I have him in the preliminary core for that reason. He's only like 52 or 5,300. Just go ahead and give it to me. If I'm going to pay sub 6K for Spain sets and a creative outlet and a huge favorite, I'm not going to pass that up. But any other player other than Thiago, like I think your fullbacks are fine. Obviously your forwards are all fine, but none of them are guaranteed to play 90 or even have like an expectation of playing 90. Luis Enrique has shown that he has no problem subbing those guys. So I would prefer the Germany forwards over the Spain forwards. I think Spain forwards for GPP are fine, or in Spain stacks. Sure, all that makes sense. But Gerard Moreno by far my favorite. Traore if in, I would like, but I just don't think you could project them for like much more than like 70 minutes, which is scary. All right, I think that kind of covers Spain. They're just gonna, for those that haven't watched, Spain's gonna dominate the hell out of the ball. Slovakia is going to be completely playing on the counter, which means nobody in Slovakia on the classic slate is in contention for cash. Only GPP. Hamsik and Mach would probably have their set pieces. Hamsik seems like he's a little bit more favored for it. Harrislin is a good player for Sassuolo. But if you're going to play any of these guys, it's your attacking players and you're shooting for a goal. Dubravka in play because Spain's just struggled to finish. All right, Sweden versus Poland. This is a very square match. I don't necessarily see a ton that I want here. Let's just start out on the Sweden side. Emil Forsberg and Sebastian Larsson are splitting sets. Sebastian Larsson is the guy I'm like, if there's a Sweden player I could see playing, I could see Larsson. Sub 6K, took a majority of set pieces, had a lot of open play value too. He was better than Forsberg until Forsberg took the PK. So, I think Larsson's just fine. Especially like you don't get Thiago and you don't get Koke and you look at Spain and you go, I have no clue who their set pieces are going to be. And you go, I had that midfield spot sub 6K, Sebastian Larsson, I can't blame you. Augustinsson does get forward, maybe like 5 to 7 crosses, nothing like the Bundesliga, but good fullback. Michael Lustig, a good fullback too. Emil Forsberg, as mentioned, split sets with Larsson. I can't see spending up for Forsberg over a Germany forward or a Spain forward, but again, set pieces, PKs. Poland hasn't looked exactly great in the back line, so I can see it. Again, GPP plays, I think Isaac and Quaison, I don't think either of them will have too much ownership. Again, Poland very, very leaky so far this tournament. So I could totally see that working out. Sweden as a GPP team, I think makes a lot of sense. All right, for Poland, set pieces will be Zelensky. If Mulder is in, I think he's a really interesting punt play. He took a corner versus Spain. He has taken corners in friendlies and previous Euro qualifying games. So there's a good chance that Zielinski and Mulder would split sets. Mulder is sub 3,500. So I think that's an interesting play. Their wingbacks definitely get forward. They're most the way they most look lively to score is on the crosses. So, and just getting balls into the box, letting Lewandowski do his thing. So Pucheks and Josiak, I think, are just fine. Nobody in the back line, really appeals to me. Ultimate GPP, if somebody's playing Poland, they're going to play Lewandowski. So if you want to grab a goal, and whoever the second forward is, so if it's Swinderski, from a classic standpoint, will not be owned at all. All right, late games, Germany, minus 588. That total is going to be up there. It's really around 3. And getting close to pushing in that 3.25 range. This is one of the highest totals we've seen all tournament. This game is in Germany. Let me just go back one thing on Spain. I just want to see if that game is in Spain real quick. Again, that would be crazy. No, it's in Netherlands. All right. I was going to say Spain can't have 3 games at home. Germany is at home, though, for Hungary, who's definitely benefited from having their first 2 games at home. They have to travel. They're completely up against it versus a far, far, far superior German team at home. I think this is just an absolute landslide game. I want all the different combos of Germany I possibly can for GPP. I would love nothing more, by the way. This is going to sound weird. I hope Timo Werner starts and it pushes Serge Gnabry into one of these spots where he has more freedom, because I will just lock and load. I want Serge Gnabry in there. He's much better when he's in wide spaces versus playing a striker. you know, he's a great attacker in the sense that he can play all those positions, but I would so much prefer him in one of those wider positions. Give me a few crosses. I think he's just, that's where we've seen him at Bayern just absolutely demolish people. So I'd love that. But Gnabry and Sane, if this is the lineup, those are both outstanding forward choices, both sub 8K. Thomas Muller's on 8,100. You have Timo Werner, if in would be a GPP consideration. I don't know if I can stomach that in cash, but he's just a little bit over 8,000. Kai Havertz looked phenomenal versus Portugal with his runs. I think he's a great play. The wingbacks, I think, are the elite cash plays. Are going to be super, super Robin Gosling, sub 6K. We saw how much he just dominated Portugal. He scores a ton of goals for Atalanta. There's no reason to not think that he's going to be involved in some way in this game. And then Joshua Kimmich. Not only does he take some set pieces and corners, but he also has an open field play value playing that right wing back position. Joshua Kimmich is a core play for me. I think a lot of this slate is going to come down to Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos is on a majority of German set pieces. He's just that guy that just always gets there, right? You know, he's like, you plug him in, and even if he only does one cross, he still shows up with 8 DK. The question becomes, does Toni Kroos, is he the piece to fade in GPP, right? Does he have enough upside? I mean, I say this, right? I'm like the king of when I question somebody's upside, they're guaranteed to score a goal. So I'm fully expecting a goal, maybe 5 from Toni Kroos. But I do think he's the one that in a GPP stack, I'm most willing to take out. But in cash, I'm most willing to put in, if that makes any sense, because I'm trying to build a floor in cash games, right? So I think Toni Kroos is a great play. If you want immediate leverage, you know, Ilkay Gundogan, you know, we know from Man City has shown the ability to go forward, to be very attack-minded. Look, anybody in this front 7, I'm all about. You know, for a punt, if you want any of these center backs, I think Mats Hummels, that would be a really cool story to see him. That's like a good narrative to see him score for probably the last time he's on the national team at home. So if you want to do narrative street, there's a good one. You know, pair it up with Kroos or Kimmich and, you know, see what you can do there. But yeah, Germany, just absolutely love every bit of them. So really all 7, I would say these, if you play any of these 5, 4, and these 2 for cash, I could not blame any of those picks. I don't think that Ilkay Gundogan is going to make the cash list for me. If you're going to play a center midfielder, it would definitely be Toni Kroos. All right, for Hungary, despite me thinking that they're going to get blown out, I think that you could use him for punts. If this is Lovren-6, he's 2,500. He likes to cross. Germany, you know, you could see a situation where they could be up and just get a little bit lax. Hungary, you know, has shown the ability to get forward. So I think if you want to do one of these like wing backs or just a super cheap piece, it's not crazy, but it's not advised either. It's not like you want to go out of your way for it. It's like, I love the rest of my lineups and I have 2,500 left. Oh, look at that. There's a Hungary player that's going to play. Cool. Give me like 2 points or 3 points and let the rest of my lineup where I spent all my money take care of it. Portugal versus France. This is France as a plus 125 favorite. This is going to be a low total. It is shooting under 2.5, but over 1.5. So right at about 2. You know, the draw line is getting more love than Portugal is. Look, I think this is a GPP only game. Jules Koundé, after how terrible Benjamin Pavard looked, is projected to play right back. I think he's fine. We've seen him play a pretty good right back for Sevilla. So he's a cheap option. Let me just real quick see what his price was. I didn't even notice that till now. 3,300 for a right back, like that's very, very okay. And he can cross the ball, so it's not like he's completely lead-footed. But yeah, Griezmann will be all over all the sets. Mbappe for GPP. Benzema super, super GPP look. But yeah, I think that, you know, only cash play really is Griezmann and Koundé. And, you know, I wouldn't call you nuts for playing Kylian Mbappe, but I kind of call you a little risk-taking because this isn't projected to be a, you know, super high-scoring game. And Portugal really needs to win. Portugal's super, super talented. They got absolutely embarrassed by Germany. So I do expect them to respond here. So, yeah, this is mostly for a classic, going to be a fade for me. Griezmann, again, Monopoly set pieces. It's not crazy. For Portugal, God, it's really hard to take anybody but Ronaldo. Look, this is an ultimate Ronaldo GPP spot. I mentioned it last game versus Germany. I thought you might get a low-owned Ronaldo, and that's always a good option. I didn't do it, but goal and assist, so that was good. This might be sub 10% Ronaldo. So it's risky, but I think anytime you get somebody of Ronaldo's stature, of skill, of legend at sub like 10%, that's really intriguing. So for GPP only, not for cash. Bruno, is very cheap, but again, I don't know. It's just really hard to it's not just like the salary, right? It's the opportunity cost. I'm paying $7,300 for Bruno Fernandes. That means I'm not going to pay what's Cruz? 7,800, 7,900. That means I'm not going to have I just sacrificed Tony Cruz. So it's not that Bruno Fernandes is a bad play. It's like, okay, do I want Bruno Fernandes as a plus 280 favorite, plus 280 dog? Or do I want Tony Cruz as a minus 550 favorite at home? Of course, I would prefer Tony Cruz. So I think those are just all of this entire game is just GPP pivots. Jota has looked really lively. Bernardo Silva does not look lively. So I would not advise Bernardo Silva, which means he's going to score. Semedo, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they change it up. But they don't have Cancelo, so they'd have to play Diego Dalot, which I don't know if that's much of an upgrade. So yeah, that's that game. All right, I think I kind of covered those. Let's real quickly look at the core. I'm playing Serge Gnabry here, just hoping that he doesn't play. I may still play Empty Striker because I do think that Germany scores 3 to 4 here. I would love to see though Timo Werner in, which I think is a really good chance that it happens. Serge Gnabry goes over to the right. The cool thing is if you kind of plan for Serge Gnabry, and you don't get him, Leroy Sané is only 7,800. Find the 200, get up to Sané. I think that's a really good play. Thiago, as mentioned, likely on Spain sets. So at 5,300, that would be a good way to get Spain exposure. Then Joshua Kimmich, I didn't talk enough about him, but he's one of the best, probably one of the top 5 midfielders in the world, probably a top 10 player at this point. We get him at 7,000, defender eligible in a wingback position. I'm all about it as a huge favorite. So if you don't have the salary, I think that Robin Gostin's 5,900 would be my alternate to Kimmich. All right, that'll do it. Just a quick reminder too, Nani just scored not too long ago. So the prize pick play today did hit. We had Nani over and we had Jack Grealish over. Thank God that assist counted. Then if you followed my Twitter feed, about 15 minutes beforehand, I mentioned that Mateo Kovacic, I loved that over as well. He went well over too with an assist and didn't even need it. Would have gone over anyway. So loving prize picks, loving getting more and more plays up. I did get word from them before I got on recording that there's going to be a number of flash. I almost call it flash sales, but I can't remember the term. Dang it. This is terrible for a marketer, right? It's I'm going to pump up prize picks. I don't remember what their promo is called, but where there's going to be bonus lines up where the players have low props. It's meant to really encourage you to get in and play. So make sure you signed up. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at GatorGuy231 or join the FSI Props Discord completely free. You will see that detail or that link is in the video. And if you do join Prize Picks, promo code FSI, you get 100% match up to $100 in free play. So take that free play their promos, follow my picks. Hopefully we get you off and running on really just a super, super fun way to participate in DFS on the prop side of things. So loving prize picks. Thank you guys so much for being a partner. We're just going to continue going through the DFS and just having a great time with Euro 2020. Hope you all are enjoying. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Keith. And with that, I'll say, see you.